What's going on, everybody? This is Marco Flores from Nerd in the Bay, and I wanted to just talk about wrestling because WrestleMania is around the corner. Is literally like tomorrow, and I wanted to just talk about wrestling, talk shop, and talk about predictions, and like my thoughts on the Hall of Fame, like some sort of news that's been kind of been breaking recently around WrestleMania weekend. So that's what we're going to be delving into. We're going to delve into like the match card from WrestleMania 35. We're going to be just trying to go through our thoughts and opinions on who do you think is going to win, what do we think is going to happen moving forward, like with the Raw after WrestleMania. Oops, shoot, my bad. So I'm your host Marco Flores. This is going to be like a one-off specialized. I don't know if this is gonna be like a podcast or just a one-off. So yeah, just wanted to say welcome to you guys. We're gonna be delving into first. I want to delve into the Hall of Fame. But first, before we do that, I've got to post that we're live. There goes Twitter, and there goes Facebook. Uploading, in. Good, we're in. Yes, we're live now. So now we're going to go back there. So let me see. Oh, and then I need to. This is the struggles of being live and trying to make sure all your stuff is all set, and you want to see chat if chat is chatting it up, and that's such. So let's see. Top chat. There you go. All right. I think we are good. I hope we are good. Let's see. Live chat. Give me live chat. There you go. So, there you go. I keep saying there you go. But yeah, so today I wanted to talk about, of course, WrestleMania tomorrow. I'm playing catch up as NXT TakeOver was last night, and I'm just starting to watch that right now. Well, before I started this. So as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to continue on watching TakeOver and then Hall of Fame, and then get myself ready for WrestleMania 35 from pre-show all the way to the end, hopefully, unless I have to watch it at work, on Monday or something. But first off, let's go on to some like little bit of news. I only got like one thing about the news. So like, I saw this on Twitter from WWE. WWE apparently signed Kushida from formerly of New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is a big get because Kushida is like a fan favorite. He was part of the Time Splitters. Let me see. I'm trying to remember. Yes, he was part of the Time Splitters. He's well known within, of course, New Japan as well as Ring of Honor, and then going around just doing independence wherever he was at as well. So he has that little Marty McFly, Back to the Future gimmick thing going. But if you see him in the ring, he is effective, high flying. He has striking. He's delving with his grappling as well. So you see some awesome, cool stuff from Kushida. So I was pretty, I thought this was like out of nowhere when I saw that Kushida signed with WWE, and so for him to start with NXT, which I think is a great idea, rather than like going straight to 205 Live or stuff like that. I think it's a great idea just to get him acclimated to what the WWE system is like. Not so much of what I think they're planning to do with him in terms of pushing him, but like just getting Kushida used to that system, even though he has traveled abroad to the U.S. and worked matches in that style, in the U.S. style already, but just getting used to that WWE sports entertainment system. So I thought that was I thought that was an awesome get. I hope to see more news of like what are the other gets that WWE is gonna like either break out. And then like, yeah, I mean, during this time, usually like other companies, they kind of schedule events along the time of WrestleMania. So like you see a lot of moving and shaking. A lot of other companies having like their own pay-per-views, like their own versions of WrestleMania, maybe in a smaller sense, but maybe just more of like underground and like underground hype, which is swelling, and then just having great matches around WrestleMania week. So like I wonder what's going to be left in terms of news, like either who's signing to who or who's going to where. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to, listening and trying to look out for on Twitter and such. So yeah, Kushida with WWE, I think it's an awesome idea. Getting with those, like, into those matches with, like, say Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano. No, I don't think Ricochet, because I think Ricochet's moving on up. Not Aleister Black either, but like Velveteen Dream. I would love to see a match between those two. And then eventually, if he eventually does go up, like Shinsuke versus Kushida, and have people see what that match is like. Maybe they can maybe they can match that up with like the Japanese style for WWE, showcase what they can do in a pay-per-view setting, or just giving them some time to be able to showcase what they can do together. So I think that's a pretty awesome idea. But yeah, Kushida with WWE, I think that's awesome. So yeah, that's a little bit of news that I've heard so far. But let's go on. Let's go on. Let's go on and go to the Hall of Fame induction, which is a Hall of Fame that is happening right now as we're talking right now. But I'm not able to watch it because I want to watch NXT Takeover, and then I'll catch up to Hall of Fame and listen and watch the speeches and such. But let's go down the list and see like who's being inducted. Like, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys know, or watching or listening right now, maybe watching the Hall of Fame right now. Let's go down the list of who's being inducted for this year's Hall of Fame. So I have it down on Wikipedia that Honky Tonk Man is one that's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Me personally, I think that's a good idea. Like, Honky Tonk Man played pretty much a big role in like me growing up, of me watching wrestling, because I knew of him of being like the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion at that time in the 80s, and like nobody seems to be beating him until when was that? I think it was SummerSlam. I mean, I'm not entirely sure when Ultimate Warrior finally took the Intercontinental Championship from Honky Tonk Man, but like Honky Tonk Man was like almost undefeated during that time, or like he wasn't losing like much. But yeah, Honky Tonk Man, I think that's a good idea. I know Jimmy Hart is going to induct him, of course, because he was his manager. And yeah, I would have loved to have seen Greg the Hammer Valentine be there too, maybe induct him as well. But yeah, Honky Tonk Man, I think is a great idea to be like a introduction to the Hall of Fame of this year. So on to the next one. The one I have down on the list is Torrie Wilson being inducted by Stacy Keibler. Torrie Wilson, not known for more of like her wrestling per se, but more of like just being like the model that went to wrestling and learned some moves. And for me personally, I was a teenager and I thought she was beautiful and growing up, and of course that's one of the reasons why I watch wrestling, because Attitude Era, they were kind of like giving like no cares, and they were doing whatever they can to stand out, I guess. And during that time where it's not so much of like evolution of what the women are today. I mean, Torrie Wilson, she did her thing. She was on like magazines and such, and boys, growing up as a teenager, all ate it up. Me included. I have to be honest with that too. So yeah, Torrie Wilson. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, I think as we go down the list, I think of course, if you guys know the list of who's being inducted, the person that we're going to mention should have been there a long time ago. But we're going down the list in terms of women, and yeah, Torrie Wilson, yeah, like good on her. So yeah, the next one that's being inducted is Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I was a fan of Brutus the Barber Beefcake, just because he had like such a unique gimmick of, he was like a muscle bound, almost like the Rockers, with with the tights and maybe some tassels, and then but he had those big old hedge clippers, and I thought that was weird and interesting. So yeah, like Brutus the Barber Beefcake, I don't think of him so much of like, I mean, maybe during that time, not so much of like a good worker in terms of wrestling, but like just character, just like a great baby face character, like like if he was a heel, he would have had, people, with nightmares of like, I'm gonna come get you and I'm gonna beat you up and then cut your hair. Like if he was a heel at that time, like he would be a scary heel, I would think, as a kid. But like, good on him for being able to finally be inducted, because he probably could have been inducted maybe like a few years ago, maybe like 5 years ago or such. But yeah, good on Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Hulk Hogan's gonna induct him, and they were like, I think, during the time of them being like the top, baby faces or good guys at the time, like they were good friends in a sense. So yeah, like I like that Brutus is finally getting his time to shine. So it'll be cool to see what his speech is going to be about. So yeah, and then as we go down the list, we're going down to groups. D-Generation X, all being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So you have Shawn Michaels being a 2-time Hall of Famer. You have Triple H currently being active, in his corporate role, and then as well as as like a wrestler when they want him to use him to wrestle. And then and let's see who else. Road Dogg being more on the production side, and maybe like helping out with the agents and such, and trying to like steer SmackDown there too. But yeah, like Road Dogg, doing a lot of work, not only behind the scenes, but like in his career as well, being multi-time tag team champions, and then having more of a focus when he was in TNA as well. So you can't deny or ignore that side of his career. And then Badass Billy Gunn, he's as active as he can be, and then being again multi-time tag team champion, and then again his work in TNA. And then now with him being like a agent for AEW, which is pretty interesting, because like if he's gonna speak at the Hall of Fame, for his speech, I don't know if there's some red tape there, like if he's gonna like go AWOL and say like hey, AEW and such. But like I don't know if they're gonna either let him talk or they're gonna pull, cover his mouth the very moment that he starts talking about AEW. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not too sure. But X-Pac, yes, X-Pac, because he was at the time of me just watching WWE or WWF at the time, he was like one of the more unique characters, because he had that young kid, of course, 1-2-3 kid. He had that young kid look, and he was doing martial arts and doing high flying moves, like literally like one of the first, if you were just watching like WWE, WWF at the time, doing those high flying moves and martial arts kicks. So like he was definitely standing out in a world filled with giants, with like Razor Ramon and Ted DiBiase, Hulk Hogan, and all that stuff. Like Land of the Giants, where they're just throwing haymakers at each other, and either you had like a impact move like a super kick or a big boot, or you had like a moonsault or a pin as like your best move. So like 1-2-3 Kid or X-Pac, he definitely like paved the way for guys now to have that athletic impactful style. So like pretty cool for X-Pac to be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is I think everyone in of course D-Generation X deserves. And finally, the one, Shawn Michaels, of course, there's nothing else to be said about Shawn Michaels being a 2-time Hall of Fame. But I wanted to go down to China, because of course people have been asking about China. It's like, when is China going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame and such, and that's always been like a little touchy issue because of the things that have been going on with China at the time. And if you look back or you dig deep enough in the internet, you'll find of course her like going into pornography, and her with drugs and such, and just kind of a little bit of a spiral down. But like at the same time, WWE, I feel, could have been much better in terms of taking care of her, like in the ways that I've heard stories and I've read stories about how Vince McMahon will, like, if he cares about you, or the company cares about you in some form or fashion, they will take care of you. Like with Kurt Angle, when he needed the help, for his addiction as well. So like, I wish the company and Vince McMahon kind of, reached their hand out more to be able to not only take care of her, and maybe she would have been alive today, but to be able to just do that. And so like going back to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, like she should have been there, you know, years ago, and I'm pretty sure people would agree, like she should have been there years ago, and being like one of the like pioneer women in the 90s attitude era, being when it was when the women were just doing like bra and panty matches or just kind of like showing their skin more. But China was she did that too, but she's showing that like women are strong, can be competitive, and as well as China being the first woman being in the men's Royal Rumble, and being the first woman to have like win the Intercontinental Championship, and could have been possibly like winning the WWE Championship. When I remember that storyline, when I think Triple H was the champion at the time. So yeah, China definitely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. But it's cool. I guess it's good in a way to have her be put in through this way. I mean, of course, if it were up to me, armchair booking, she would have been inducted a long time ago as a solo act rather than just with D-Generation X. But it's kind of you're knocking a lot of stones with inducting D-Generation X all at the same time. So I understand that that's what that is supposed to be. So yeah, let's see. Just want to check something really quick. Okay, all good. And so let's see what else are we going to. Harlem Heat being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think that's completely awesome, because I was a Harlem Heat fan, tag team when they were in WCW, and they were just, as a tag team, they were killing it, WCW, and I would have loved to see. I mean, of course, I was a fan of Booker T, but I was a fan of Stevie Ray's power style, because it was a big contrast to what Booker T was doing. And I would have loved to see Stevie Ray kind of shine more, whether it was in WCW or if he had ever had a time in WWE. Would have loved to see Stevie Ray like stand out more, because he would have been like one of those top guy, heavyweights that would have like had a belt, if he kept pushing. But like, awesome for Harlem Heat to be inducted. Would have loved that Scary Sherry would have been in there as well as part of the Harlem Heat. But Booker T being a two-time Hall of Famer, and Stevie Ray being inducted. So I think it's pretty cool that they get to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And then who else? There is the Hart Foundation, where you have Bret Hart, of course, another two-time Hall of Famer. That is going to be happening once the Hall of Fame, which is happening right now. Hall of Fame is happening right now, being inducted as a two-timer. And then Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which is pretty cool, because again, kind of like Stevie Ray, more of the heavyweight guy, being more the power bruiser guy, but he was good on the mic. He had a great character. He just had I think he had it all together, and just the Hart Foundation together was an awesome tag team when I was starting to watch wrestling back in the day. But yeah, awesome. Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So yeah, definitely they do deserve a lot of tag teams. I would say a lot of tag teams groups then being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is I think that's a good idea. Just so you can get as many people in as possible. There was like news back then, like maybe like 6 months ago or whatever. Undertaker was supposed to get inducted, or that was just rumors, or maybe red herrings that people were just, or WWE was just trying to throw out, like, and then people were trying to report. So, but yeah, that's the Hall of Fame. I know there's a Warrior Award, and then with Sue, I think. Yeah, I think Sue. But being a longtime WWE employee, and if you're putting up with like Vince and the entire company for that long, you deserve some sort of recognition to be able to just kind of be like almost the backbone of WWE. If I guess from back then to now. So yeah, that's the Hall of Fame. That's the Hall of Fame for this part. So let's go ahead and talk about the match card for WrestleMania. So let me go ahead and pull that up. So let's see. I just want to take a look. Anything's going on. And I apologize to you hearing the sound of like tapping, because I'm trying to just navigate stuff and just see if there's anything going on at the moment. Let's see. That's control room. That's cards, info. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. I think this is gonna be like a one and done about wrestling. Maybe if we're getting a lot of good traction with this, maybe this can be an ongoing podcast thing. We'll see. I just wanted to talk about WrestleMania and just talk to my friend. I wanted to bring Princeton King, who, if you know about the channel like Nerd in the Bay back then, years ago, we did a few podcasts or a couple podcasts about wrestling. We would talk about what's going on in the news and such. But yeah, like I wanted to have him on, and so we can talk about WrestleMania and go down the list of like the match predictions and such. So, but let's go ahead and talk about yeah, there you go, match card. So I wanted to, of course, go down the list of like all the matches and see like who I think would be like the winners of a lot of the matches that are here. So like going down the list from the bottom, from the beginning, from like pre-show. First off, we have the Women's Battle Royal. It's more than likely going to be on the kickoff show. In that case, so like let's see who's confirmed to be in here, and with the Battle Royals, both men and women, there's there are names that are in there that are confirmed, but there also could be possibly names that are not confirmed in the Battle Royals. And so like I'm just going by the names that are confirmed in those Battle Royals. So let's see. For the Women's Battle Royal, whoever is confirmed is Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mickie James, and Selena Vega. And from that list of confirmed women superstars, I would think that I want the women's and also the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I want them to mean something, because as of right now, when you win it, it doesn't really mean much. You don't get like a shot at a title. You don't get like your number. You don't get like a number one contendership for something. If I feel like they should be like there's a reward for it, not only getting that trophy, but like what do you get like along the lines of like a championship? And it, as of right now, for the both women and men's battle royal, there's like not much of that other than getting like a trophy and like some sort of like recognition. But I think if you win that, kind of like the King of the Ring, you should be along the lines of getting some sort of like championship belt or like championship match. So like I said, with the women's battle royal, with the names that are confirmed to enter, I think I can think about a lot of possibilities. I mean, I think I can think like Asuka can win the battle royal as a way to push her to be more of like a dominant superstar, even though they have her lose to Charlotte and have Charlotte with the SmackDown like women's championship. I think this is a way to be able to push Asuka to be more of that dominant female in the women's division on SmackDown, and actually SmackDown and Raw as a singles competitor. At the same time, if we're going for underdog winning it out of nowhere, as I look down this list, I can see Mandy Rose, because they like. I know that WWE likes that look of like a blonde bombshell. I can see Mandy Rose being able to like clutch it out. I think let's see, Ruby Riott will be another one that can win it as as the Riott Squad is getting more time and like time on the camera. Like I can see Ruby Riott being able to get propelled as a person that can win it. Sure, you have Carmella, Carmella, who's won the Money in the Bank. You have Naomi, who is a former champion. Lana, that would be like a dark horse out of nowhere, like you wouldn't expect. Selena Vega, maybe she's becoming, if she's being more active in a singles competitor role, but right now I think she's just more on the managerial role for Andrade. But yeah, I think those are my picks. Either Asuka to dominate. Lana, like a dark horse out of nowhere. Mandy Rose, I can predict, like, yeah, they can be pushing her. Ruby Riott, to be able to push Ruby Riott more. But if I have to go to pick one, I think it's going to be Asuka winning that battle royal for the women. But yeah, I think that's what they're going to go with the women's battle royal is Asuka winning just to push her more as a more dominant woman in the women's division, and then possibly match it up with whoever's going to win the winner take all women's championship. So that is the women's battle royal. And now on to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So the men's battle royal is also on the kickoff show. Again, which is kind of unfortunate. Like I would think that you would want to push either one of those battle royals in the main card, but because there are so many matches confirmed that some need to be just being put on the kickoff part of the show. So again, going down the list of the men's battle royal and who's confirmed to be able to that's going to be in the battle royal. Let's see. We have Braun Strowman. We have Michael Che and Colin Jost of Saturday Night Live. Andrade, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal, No Way Jose, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, Lucha House Party, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Heath Slater, Rhino. That's weird because I thought he retired, but I guess he's still doing some sort of work. Victor, Connor of the Ascension, Ali, Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Matt and Jeff Hardy, Otis and Tucker, and EC3. So those are the confirmed names on the list. If I'm thinking about storyline wise, I feel like Braun Strowman is a shoo-in to win. If you wanna make SNL guys look good, I can see that happening as well. Let me see. Andrade, I can see winning. Apollo Crews, if they're wanting to push him more so, winning. Jinder Mahal had his time in the spotlight, and I think right now, because WWE does a thing where they'll have one guy lose so much during this time, and everybody's like, why is he still with the company if he's losing so much? But then at some point he gets on a resurgence of being on the top spot, maybe for whatever reason, either with Jinder Mahal, maybe it was that deal with India, that may have been the reason why he got pushed to being a WWE champion. I don't know about Jinder. I don't think about Jinder Mahal. No Way Jose, I can't see it. Titus O'Neil, more. I mean, if you want to push a big guy, maybe, but I think he's more on just being there and then just doing the charity work. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, Bobby Roode, maybe. Bobby Roode, maybe that's a possibility. Chad Gable, not so much. Lucha House Party. I mean, out of those three, maybe Kalisto, if you're trying to get for a Rey Mysterio underdog story going. Let me see. Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. I don't think so. Heath Slater, maybe, because Heath Slater got kids, so definitely I could see that. And Rhino helping him out, maybe. Victor and Connor of the Ascension. I think of that as maybe possibility at a Raw after or SmackDown after, where they get a big push into the main spotlight in terms of WWE titles contention. Shelton Benjamin, that's a possibility to finally be able to showcase hey, Shelton Benjamin is an amazing athlete, and that's a way to be able to solidify or just make people remember that boom, Shelton Benjamin is there and he can win, right? Because he's been with Brock Lesnar and that starting class, Brock Lesnar, Dave Bautista, Randy Orton, and John Cena. He was with them at that time, so why not push Shelton Benjamin? Because he's good. He's good when you give him that time. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, I don't think so, because I feel like they're on their way out and could be possibly going to AEW, because that might be a thing. Unless it's another Dean Ambrose situation, and it's oh yeah, he's not signing, he's not resigning, but and then the last minute news news breaking, oh yeah, he signed or something. Matt and Jeff Hardy. Maybe not so much. Matt Hardy winning the last year's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Jeff Hardy, maybe. Maybe. Otis and Tucker, I don't think so. But I do like those guys. I'm entertained by those guys a lot every time they're on the screen. EC3, maybe, possibly. EC3, because he's not doing well at the moment when they're with the call-ups, but I feel like whoever was called up recently, like Tucker and Otis, EC3, Ricochet and Aleister Black, I feel like EC3 is going to be in the main picture contention, like whatever belt that he's going to be, like on whatever show he's going to be on. I feel like they're going to push him after Raw, after SmackDown. So if I look down this list, Braun Strowman, storyline wise, I feel like he's going to win it. Andrade can win it and look good. Apollo Crews can win it and look good. Dark Horse, Bobby Roode can win it and look good. Dark Horse, Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze would be that dark horse that can win it out of nowhere, and people will be shocked and people will be cheering like, "Oh yeah, heck yeah, Tyler Breeze! Finally, he's got some time to shine." So yeah, Tyler Breeze is definitely a dark horse that can win it out of nowhere, and then people would love it. I would want to root for Shelton Benjamin, but as of right now, as they're not doing much with him, I don't see him winning as much. But like, if you want to give me a dark horse or just who would win, I think I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. I can't deny the fact that they're going storyline wise, and maybe they may let the SNL guys win. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going with Braun Strowman for the storyline. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Cruiserweight Championship, Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese. So I've seen a few like Buddy Murphy matches from 205 and 205 Live, and he hits hard. He is a hard-hitting guy, and I like his style. It's no nonsense, juggernaut style. I think that's what his moniker is, being a juggernaut. And then Tony Nese, I saw some of his matches from 205 and some of the championship matches that he's in, and yeah, I think Tony Nese is good. But I think for this sense, Buddy Murphy is going to continue his reign of dominance in terms of the 205 division. Unless Tony Nese can match his pace and his not so much of his style, but like just can match Buddy Murphy, like move for move. I think Buddy Murphy is gonna take this one for 205. Raw Tag Team Championships, the Revival versus Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins. This was weird because this was set up on WWE.com, and it wasn't set up like on TV saying like, oh yeah, nobody can take us, and then all of a sudden Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins show up. This was WWE only, WWE.com only setup, and it wasn't much of a setup. So it's a little weird, but when I look at this matchup, I get feelings of Reverse Undertaker breaking the streak because of Curt Hawkins having the longest losing streak ever, or longest losing streak right now in today's history. So like I can see a Reverse Undertaker beat the streak happening where Curt Hawkins gets his first win. It will be at the Revival's sake, and as much as maybe the Revival or maybe just the fans of the Revival may not like that, I can see how this can get like a big pop. And you're like, just like, oh my gosh, Curt Hawkins finally won something. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Curt Hawkins winning this one. Curt Hawkins and Zack Ryder winning this one, because last year Zack Ryder, I believe it was the last year, maybe the year before, Zack Ryder wasn't expected to win that Intercontinental Championship ladder match, and yet people were rooting like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, Zack Ryder, and then he actually did, and the roof blew off when he did. So yeah, so Raw Tag Team Champions, I'm going with Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins. Oh, sorry. like I mentioned that Princeton, I wanted Princeton to be in this in the show and give me his predictions. So like as we're coming from the matches that we just discussed. So Princeton King, my buddy Princeton King, he said Carmella would win the women's battle royal. Okay, I can see why. EC3 winning the battle royal, which has got my thinking of like, yeah, I can see EC3 winning. Tony Nese winning the belt. That's an interesting pick. Yeah, so like me and him are kind of like the same thinking. So he says Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins win at WrestleMania, but lose the belts at Raw, which would suck. But I can see them doing that turnaround. Like, oh man, no. Oh, but then again, there's no rematch clause anymore, so they would have to find a way to do that unless they just challenge, unless the Revival just challenge them and they accept. That's all I can think how they can do that because there's no rematch clause. So let's go back to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which is like a fatal four-way. The Usos, who are the champs, Ricochet and Aleister Black, who are very busy this weekend, trying to gun for the NXT Tag Team titles. They're trying to go for the Raw Tag Team titles versus the Revival, and now you have them in SmackDown for WrestleMania for the SmackDown Championships. Ricochet, Aleister Black, The Bar, and then Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. So I think out of those teams, like Usos, oh man, the Usos are amazing right now. I love their new gimmick, and they're getting like not artificial, but like organic cheers because everybody loves what they're doing. Being like, yeah, we're badasses, but we can back it up, sort of thing. Ricochet and Aleister Black, again, like I said, being super busy, and once they move up from the roster, and depending where they go, I can see them winning belts. I can see them winning tag team championships, but I don't think right now. I think they're going to be there to show that, like, oh man, this is like an amazing match because you have them with the Usos, The Bar, and Shinsuke and Rusev. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't think Ricochet and Aleister Black are going to win that match either. The Bar, maybe. I don't think so. I don't think anybody's really pulling for the Bar to like, oh man, yeah, I want the Bar to win, but I don't think so. Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, that's a possibility because of it's not so much of like a nothing team, but like their circumstances of coming together. It was like, okay, well, we'll just put them together. And they haven't been winning much in terms of they being them put together. And like Shinsuke Nakamura, he's being put not being put in the back burner, but like he's getting lower importance on like the main the main show card, and like that sucks because like Shinsuke had a big push once he got moved up to SmackDown and to Raw. I think to the main roster. So like Rusev and Shinsuke, I can see them winning this match for the sake of. People were loving Rusev Day, and people love Shinsuke Nakamura. Like the fans, they're fans of New Japan. But yeah, I can see Rusev and Shinsuke winning that. It's either Rusev or Shinsuke, or it's going to be the Usos. But if you want me to pick a team, I feel like the Usos will win it out because there's no. I feel like there's no tag team yet right now with the main list of tag teams on SmackDown that can go move for move or just match up with the Usos, and they're high right now. So I think that's what it is. Like the Usos are so much on a high that nobody wants to see them lose the tag team championships. But if somebody was to win, I think I would go with Rusev and Shinsuke. But I think the Usos are gonna win it out for this fatal four-way tag team match. Next match is I need to go back to what Princeton said. So for the SmackDown championship, tag team championships, he says Ricochet and Aleister Black for the win. Okay, that would be interesting. If that's where they're going to be sticking once their call up is finalized, and that's where they're sticking to. that would be interesting because that would be like they just got called up and then they won belts, and that'd be cool. And that team wasn't like a natural like, yeah, let's get together and team up. It was just like they were put together and they just look great. You know, one person, Ricochet, is high flying, the other one is hard striking, and it was just a good gel mixed, and it works. And I like, when does WrestleMania? Oh, what's up, Casino? When does WrestleMania start? I believe it starts 4 p.m. Western time, like Pacific Standard Time. Unless the pre-show is like, what is pre-show like? They usually pre-show WrestleMania pre-shows are like 2 hours. I don't think they're going to be doing an hour. I believe that's going to be like 2:00 if you're starting from the pre-show. But 4 p.m. Pacific Standard if you're watching just WrestleMania. I should start watching UFC. I know. I'm very much into martial arts, but I'm not watching UFC or Bellator for that matter. So like I watch a couple when some like my friends invite me to go like watch a pay-per-view. But yeah, I don't watch consistently UFC or just MMA in general. But yeah, if that starts to happening, then maybe I can start talking about it too. But yeah, 4 p.m. I believe for the main WrestleMania card. But go back 2 hours if you don't want to watch from the pre-show, because pre-show has a bunch of matches as well. So yeah, hey, Casino, thank you for hanging out and and then just hanging out and watching as we're just talking about just match for match what we're going to be delving into. Let me see. The next one is Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Kurt Angle's farewell match. I mean, like everybody else, as much as talented as Baron Corbin is, I don't think that he is a right fit for Kurt Angle's farewell match. It could have been anybody else, and that it would have been like much more of a spectacle like match, like Kurt Angle versus John Cena. I have a feeling that's still gonna happen, like in some form or fashion, because John Cena is there. John Cena is scheduled to appear in WrestleMania, and we don't know why he's gonna be there. He's not confirmed for any matches or anything. He's there, but we don't know what. So maybe in my mind, I feel like, conspiracy mind is either Kurt Angle beats Baron Corbin so bad that it's like a 5-second match or something, or Baron Corbin gets taken out like for whatever reason, and then John Cena jumps, pulls in, and it's fitting like that because John Cena's introduction to WWE main roster was through Kurt Angle challenging anybody in the back, and then what way to be able to close out Kurt Angle's career than with having a match with John Cena. But I know Kurt Angle is hurt. He's working hurt, and he's not moving as fast, and not only because he's older, but because he's working hurt, that his matches are not having like the full impact of what he can do. Because you see lately his matches have been short in Raw and SmackDown. So I don't know how they can make a match between Kurt Angle and John Cena be like a 10-minute match or a 5-minute match, or just a 10-minute match or more. But other people that I think it would have been cool that he could have gone against was like Undertaker, if that was a possibility. Who else? Rey Mysterio, that could have been one too. But like Rey Mysterio is going up against Samoa Joe. But yeah, I feel like but if it's just Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, if we're talking about retirement matches, and then by retirement matches, then Baron Corbin would have to win. Because I mean, I listen to a lot of like wrestler podcasts and wrestlers talking about like the business and such, and a lot of the times they say when you're retiring on your last match, you retire with a loss, not so much with a win. So I guess you're like helping the business back in a sense. It's kind of like a tradition per se. But if we're talking about this match being a farewell, quote unquote, / retirement match, then Baron Corbin would have to win. And then, but if Kurt Angle wins, that would be a good send off for Kurt Angle. But that thing is weird. Like I'm so used to retirement matches being that the person that's being retired has to lose. So I mean, yeah, I mean there's that. And if it's John Cena, then that'd be cool if John Cena can send him off or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with that match. So I mean, yeah, like I said, Baron Corbin would win if it's a straight up retirement match, but if it's like John Cena and Kurt Angle, yeah, probably John Cena would win that out too, just to send off Kurt Angle. So and then my buddy Princeton King said, yeah, Baron Corbin beating Angle. Again, thinking the same thing that, if you're retiring, you retire on your back. All right. So next match, Miz versus Shane McMahon, false count anywhere match. Miz in the babyface role is pretty weird. It's pretty weird that we're seeing Miz in this role, and he's been in this role before, years back. But he's so natural as a heel, as like a bad guy. Like I love to hate him, but right now, like he's getting cheers, like he's a fan favorite, and as cool as it is, like it's still weird to me. Like I like the guy, like how he, his work is, but like it's weird that we're cheering for the Miz as a good guy rather than like I'm so used to him being a bad guy and being ego driven and such. But with this false count anywhere match, I think the Miz will win this one out. Shane McMahon is going to fall from something super high and then make it a spectacle. But I think the Miz is going to win that one out. Being a false count anywhere, yeah. I think the Miz, they're going to give Miz the win here versus Shane McMahon. And Shane McMahon doesn't need a win, but like unless you're pushing more storyline further than WrestleMania, yeah, I can't see the Miz losing that one. And my buddy Princeton said, Shane McMahon would beat the Miz by cheating. That's always a possibility. Yeah, I just think that Miz will win this one out. I mean, because unless they're doing something as well, yeah, not sure. Oh, got a bunch of people. Tradition, bro. Angle has to lose. Let Corbin get the heat. It is tradition. I totally agree with you. It's just I wouldn't understand Kurt Angle winning, but it was like a retirement match or it's a farewell match. But yeah, started. And how old am I? I am I am 36. I have to think about. I'm at that point where I have to think about my age and make sure like I got to confirm that. I'm 36, turning 37 this year. I don't want to think about that, but yeah, I'm 36. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys hanging out and watching. He said, okay, you want Brock to lose when he comes to UFC when he fights Cormier? Yeah, I agree. I would love to see Brock Lesnar lose and when he makes his next match for UFC against Cormier. But like I saw the promo, or I saw like the little fight interview, or like I think it was a Cormier and Brock Lesnar, like where Brock hella pushed Cormier, but yeah, when Cormier pushed Brock, it was like that rather than like Brock just pushing him and like he threw him, like he pushed him out of like the second row sort of thing. But anyways, yeah, but I agree with you, Quentin. Tradition, you have to lose on your back. It would be weird if his final match he would leave on a win. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and then we're just talking about just WrestleMania predictions. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to do, and I don't know. And then like as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna watch Takeover because I still need to watch that, and then the Hall of Fame. So yeah, anyway, so we're moving on to the Women's Tag Team Championship match: Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Beth Phoenix, Natalya versus Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka. Oh, and the Iconics. So when I think about this match, as much as I'm happy that Sasha Banks and Bayley are the are the champions, I haven't seen them look strong. I personally haven't seen them look strong as the champions. They've been like yeah, we won the championship, but like dang, we're getting beat up sort of thing. And for Sasha to be able to challenge all the teams out there, I feel like they need to be shown that they kind of like deserve the belts per se. Like they are looking strong. Beth Phoenix and Natalya, that's a possibility. That's a possibility that they can win. Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka, I believe you can make the tag team championships look like a threat, or like like they're strong. If you give Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka the belts and they win and be dominant in that division, Iconics, I really cannot see them winning the belts with the people that are in there right now. Yeah, with this match, I'm not sure. It can go either way with Sasha Banks and Bayley trying to look like much stronger than they are with their reign right now. Beth Phoenix and Natalya, that'd be cool. That would be cool. But then again, I have a little bit of feelings that it would be a little bit of a handout as well. Nia Jackson, Tamina Snuka, that would be like, yes, we beat the best, and now we're gonna be dominant, and you don't have them lose whatever tag team matches that they have moving forward if they win the belts. And then the Iconics, I just can't see it. I can't see with them winning. But if you want me to pick a team that would win, that's tough. That's more tough because I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced enough that Sasha Banks and Bayley can clutch it out. It's a possibility, but I just can't see it with this lineup right now. Beth Phoenix and Natalya, Beth Phoenix coming out of retirement to be able to, to come back to possibly, grab the tag team championships. Princeton, my buddy Princeton said Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka. I can see that. that they would win, even though Nia Jax and Tamina, they're rough around the edges in terms of working, but I can see Nia Jax and Tamina making a statement on WrestleMania and showcasing that we are the tag team to beat, and nobody's going to be able to beat them. So I can see that when it comes to them. Let's see. Off-topic question: what do you think about school mean in terms of success in life? I'm probably the last person to ask about school because I wasn't much of a school person myself. I had my GED because I did not like school myself personally. I was so distracted. Not that I did bad stuff. It's just I just didn't care about school whatsoever. But yeah, I feel like you can still succeed with or without school. Of course, people, we were being told that you're supposed to go to school so you can succeed. But it's if say you don't, the path of success is still viable. It's just maybe it may be a less figure salary, more so than a person that is in school. But then again, you need experience for the field that you're going to. So it's like a trade-off. I mean, I feel like I'm doing fine. I feel like I'm doing fine with not the school part, of not having the school part, but I'm okay, So if you're going to school, great, awesome. I hope you guys stick to that when it comes to going for your major and such, and making sure that's what you're going to want to do in your life. Otherwise, I would say get the experience. I mean, personally, if you like me, school's not so much for you. Get the experience that you're going to want to be doing when it comes to what you want to be doing in life. I mean, that's me. Not to say that that's the gospel or anything. It's just that's my personal opinion about school and such. Go for school if that's exactly what you want to do with the thing that you want to do. Otherwise, just get the experience so you're not only you're available to be able to do that thing while the person in school is trying to get the experience after he got his degree and such. But you look more of a candidate that people want if you have that degree and such. But I'm sorry, again, off topic. I'm sorry, guys. We're talking about wrestling, and then Casino's asking about school. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. I mean, I'm a product of not caring about school so much, so I went for the experience rather than going to school and then trying to get placed to get experience. So yeah, that's just me. So back to the women's tag team championship match. I believe Princeton said Nia Jackson, Tamina Snuka. I would have to agree. Yeah, and then Beth and Natalya, that they can win the belts down the line unless they're just placed there to help the women out there in that division. With whatever reason, I can't see Beth and Natalya win the belts down the line. I don't know if it's going to be in this match. I don't think so. I think Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka would win as a way to impact the women's tag team championships. Let's see, United States Championships, Championship match: Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, I mean, this is Joe's time. It's just Joe's time. As dominant as he is, as Samoa Joe is, not even so much dominant as like person that wins, but just how he is as a performer, as a character, like being methodical and being good, so good on the mic. Like he doesn't need much help, and they let Joe fly with whatever words that he's saying. Just let Joe do his thing. Like he's eventually gonna be like I listen to the ENC pod of Awesomeness. I think Samoa Joe is going to be rocket strapped to the moon when WWE chooses to pull that trigger, because like, dude, he's amazing. Samoa Joe is amazing, and Rey Mysterio I think is there to be more of a helper in that sense, and I think just setting up Dominic, because since Dominic is training in Lance Storm's school, so like to set up something with Dominic, maybe I don't think a tryout, because I feel like Dominic needs to continue training and maybe doing like just indie dates and such, because I don't know about how Dominic is doing like in terms of the independence, because I think he's just training. But I think Rey Mysterio takes the loss here. I think Samoa Joe is gonna dominate in this match. It's gonna be a great match. I'm looking forward to watching that match. But if you're asking me, I think Samoa Joe is gonna. Princeton King said the same thing. Yeah, he says Samoa Joe is gonna beat Rey Mysterio. And then we're moving on to the Intercontinental Championship. And Finn Balor. This is a contrast in styles, of course, contrast in size. It's kind of like Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. That I'm more on struggle with this one because Bobby Lashley, looks good with the belt, of course. It makes the belt look stronger. Having Leo Rush there as as insurance helps him, and it elevates the Intercontinental Championship. Not to say that it doesn't need lifting, but it looks good with Bobby Lashley, I think. In terms of that, that big man, and he's more of an athlete, and he can, if he wants to, he can go after Brock Lesnar, and you can believe that. Like in terms of believing that the Intercontinental Champion can go gun the Universal Champion at this time. Finn Balor, he's been Intercontinental Championship. He's been Intercontinental Champion. And he lost the belt before to Bobby Lashley. And so we're playing this hot potato with their IC belt, and it's kind of reminding me of the feud with Rock and Austin when they were both after the IC belt, and they were just going hot potato back and forth. And this is like reminding me of that. If they keep going back and forth, and then all of a sudden Finn Balor's like, I'm done with the IC belt. I want to go for, the WWE Championship or, the Universal Championship. I can see Bobby Lashley what the hell sort of thing. But also another thing that you got to think about is that the Demon, I believe, when the Demon is around, he has yet to be defeated as a character, not just Finn Balor, but as the Demon, he has yet to be defeated. So if there's a reason why the Demon is being brought out, then and he has yet to lose. But because I'm struggling with this, I think Bobby Lashley is going to win this out, even with the Demon, because Finn Balor won the belt already, and he can win the belt again, maybe have a longer run, maybe a more substantial run, just to make the belt, the IC belt, just trying to make it stand out more so than the Universal belt, championship belt. But I think, for me personally, personal opinion really is Bobby Lashley does make the IC belt look good, and as long as he's challenging people, or people are challenging Bobby Lashley that are like, oh yeah, that'll be a pretty cool match. I think Bobby Lashley would be that guy to gun after like just to have quality. Like, oh yeah, never seen that match before. Yeah, I would love to see that match in that championship setting. So I think Bobby Lashley is going to win it out. I think the Demon is going to get his first loss, and then Finn Balor can either, after WrestleMania point, like maybe Finn Balor will move to SmackDown or what. I mean, we'll see, because we're gonna have the shakeup right after, not the Raw after, but like the Raw after or whatever. But yeah, so I think Bobby Lashley is gonna win this one out, and then Princeton said Lashley will beat Balor. Yep, we're agreeing with that. Let me see. Okay, Casino. I feel school is stupid. They rate us by grades, math, and other different talents. Yeah, I agree. If you want to learn something, you will learn it, and if you don't, you won't. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like I wasn't much of a fan of math whatsoever. I was loving PE, but I'm not a fan, not so much of math and such. But like, yeah, you'll learn what you want to learn, and what you'll grasp within the school subjects. But yeah, totally, I agree with you, Casino. So, all right, let me move on to where are we at next. Oh, Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred match. Triple H's career is on the line. So this is interesting because one, Triple H's career is on the line, so it's kind of like a retirement match in itself as a performer. But it's not to say that you won't see Triple H ever again. It's just as a performer. Versus Batista, who is a superstar, international superstar, celebrity such, with Guardians of the Galaxy and all the movies that he's doing now lately. I don't see that you would make the celebrity look bad in that sense. But then again, Batista lost to Daniel Bryan, and that was okay, right? It was fine. I feel like I'm leaning towards Batista winning because you want to make the celebrity look good. That's where my head. Sorry, I'm spitting at my camera. I'm spitting at my laptop and such. That's where my thinking is at. Is you want to make the celebrity who used to be a WWE superstar, you want to make them look good to say like, yeah, this superstar, this celebrity that came from Guardians of the Galaxy, they came from WWE, and then you make WWE look strong, sort of thing. So I would think I'm thinking that Batista is going to win this one. I don't think Triple H is going to win this one, unless you actually pull the trigger of Triple H actually defeating Batista, because Batista's been gloating on that fact of Triple H has never beaten me ever. I was like, okay, well, maybe this will be the time. But I feel like if you're asking me, and I'm thinking about it right now, I feel like Batista's gonna win, and then Triple H won't perform. I mean, Shawn Michaels said he retired, and it would take years after for him to perform at Crown Jewel for a favor. So he may do. Even though they say like his career is on the line, he can't perform anymore. Probably maybe down the line, Triple H comes back. So like I feel like Batista's gonna win this one. And then my buddy Princeton said Triple H beating Batista. So like this is where we disagree. And I can see that. I can see that Triple H can win beating Batista. It's depending where they want to go with this. Like, because I'm not sure if it's so much of a one and done. I think it's going to be going down the line, like further the storyline. Maybe it's going to be like a year, like a year storyline. Maybe if Batista is available enough to be able to do that. Otherwise, yeah, I can see Triple H winning. I'm just leaning towards, I think Batista is going to win this one. So let's see. Moving on, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. This is the match that even though there's not much setup to it, I'm looking forward to this match because of the shit talking that is happening between the two of them. Like they're talking so much smack to each other, like factual talk, like smacking talk, with AJ Styles saying like you all you done is like failed drug tests, and then Randy Orton saying like you were in bingo halls and high schools while I was performing in WrestleManias and such. Like, oh man, these guys are taking some real shots at each other, and I'm like, me as a fan, I'm enjoying that. Like, I'm enjoying the back and forth between them. So I can just imagine what they're gonna do in a match. Even though, like, I know Randy Orton's style is gonna be, again, methodical. Is gonna be more so on like the boring side, but there's a purpose why he's doing the things that he's doing. Of course, RKO out of nowhere is gonna come into play, and then with AJ Styles, just being more of like the hybrid high flyer but impactful, moveset. I think you should continue the storyline further than where it's at right now with WrestleMania. So I feel like Randy Orton is gonna win this one. I don't think AJ is gonna win this one. I feel like Randy is gonna win this one, in a way to prove a point, and then go further beyond, like, just being more personal. Like, maybe there's gonna be a redemption arc for AJ Styles. We don't know. But I think Randy Orton's gonna win this one. RKO out of nowhere. It's gonna be a great, solid match. And then Princeton says Orton beating Styles. So Randy Orton beating AJ Styles. We agree on that. So there's that. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. So now Roman Reigns be coming back from leukemia, and then kind of slowly gaining his way back into mainline match card and such. But he goes up against Drew McIntyre, who's on a hot streak of Drew McIntyre just looks good, and he has fire in his promos, and they're giving him good time to be able to have your matches and such. While Roman Reigns just coming back again from his match from with the Shield, and then moving forward from there. So you don't see much of Roman Reigns at the moment, but I think it's going to be Roman's time to slowly get back into maybe the position where he was before. So with this match, it's either Roman Reigns wins, and you expect that, like, yeah, of course Roman Reigns wins, and because he's getting his way back to the top, or Drew McIntyre wins and catapults his momentum forward. But like, you beat a guy who had cancer, but then again, so did Zack Ryder too. So but then Zack Ryder was is not on the winning side, but like, people have beaten Zack Ryder, but then he battled cancer, that sort of thing. So with this match, I think I'll go with Roman Reigns. Like, I want to go with Drew McIntyre, but if I'm asking, my gut is telling me Roman Reigns is going to win this one out. Just to show him, like, yeah, I'm back. I'm back in the WWE. I'm back to just kicking their asses and taking names and such. So yeah, but I mean, this loss, if this actually happens with Drew McIntyre losing, it still doesn't, like, put him lower than where he's at. Like, he's still going to catapult. It just, with this match, I think the win is going to go to Roman, rather than it's going to go to Drew. And then let's see. Princeton says McIntyre beats Roman Reigns. Okay, so we disagree on that. So there's that. That's going to be interesting. Let's see. When do you start the WrestleMania? Oh, Armenia at. If you're asking when do you start WrestleMania at, I'm starting with Pacific Standard Time, and they're in New York, so Eastern Standard Time. So it starts at 4 for me, and then they're 3 hours ahead. Well, 4, 6. They start at 6. If that's the case, so go. They're gonna go by Eastern Standard Time. So, like, yeah, just go back. For me, California, going back 3 hours, but just try to. There's sites to be able to time convert and such. So yeah, there's that too. Let me see. Where are we going with this? What's the next match? So, okay, WWE Championship, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. This will be interesting because I'm looking forward to this match because of the groundswell, the organic groundswell that has been for Kofi Kingston, like, and in a unique situation, because Ali was supposed to face Daniel Bryan, and then he got hurt, and then Kofi Kingston took his place, and then everybody was like, "Yeah, Kofi Kingston, yeah, he should win the belt. He should have been a champion already." But you hear the rumors of like how Vince McMahon doesn't want uh like like a um like a black person as a champion, and I feel like not to say like Vince McMahon is a racist or whatever. Like I don't whatever. I that's neither near nor there for me. Like I don't that part I'm not focusing on so much. I think he's actually pulling the trigger on for Kofi Kingston. Like yeah, he's been dedicated to this company. He's taken all the things that we've given him and made him great. So I think you can't deny. I think you can't deny that Kofi Kingston will win this match, and he will finally become a WWE champion. And I think all is left for him is just winning the Universal Championship, and then Kofi would win all the belts, literally all the belts, unless he goes down in weight and goes to 205 Live and goes to NXT and win those belts too. But this match, I think Kofi Kingston is going to win. I think everybody agrees that it's going to be Kofi Kingston. It's his time. It's been his time. It's been his time for a long time for Kofi Kingston to win the belt. So, yeah, I'm going with Kofi Kingston. And we'll see if outside interference comes into play with Rowan. And I don't think New Day is going to do anything to get in the way of that, because it could possibly have Kofi Kingston lose. But if they do, okay, yeah, I mean that's New Day that we've seen them before, trying to be sly and get a win over them. I've been hearing like rumors or whatever, just hearing like things that like this is where the New Day turns on Kofi Kingston. I'm like, ooh, okay, that can happen, and that would suck that would happen, but they can. This could be the time if they ever break these guys up. This would be the time to have a big impact. Like, wow, this sucks. Your own boys who helped you get to the match takes it away from you, and that would suck. Like, yeah, I would be so mad if that were to happen. But yeah, I would say Kofi Kingston over Daniel Bryan. Princeton, yeah, he says the same thing. And then we have Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. I'm listening to Talk is Jericho right now, and I tend to agree with the fact that because we have the final three matches being championship matches, I don't think that the titles will change hands on all three of those final matches. So if Kofi Kingston is going to win, if I feel like Becky Lynch is going to win, someone's going to be the odd man out, and it's probably going to be Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins may not win this match with Brock Lesnar, even though they've been pushing like, yeah, Brock Lesnar has issues with the smaller guy, and yeah, if we're going by this lineup with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey being the final match, Kofi and Daniel Bryan being the third to last match, Universal Championship is the second to last match. I don't see them doing changing titles with all three of those matches. I feel like somebody's going to win this one out. I think Brock Lesnar is going to win this one out, and maybe Seth Rollins will get one down the line. I think it's inevitable that he becomes like Universal or like WWE champion. But I don't think it'll be tomorrow at WrestleMania. I think Brock Lesnar is going to win this one out, depending what kind of contract he signs when it comes to WWE. But I think Brock Lesnar is going to win this one out. And yeah, unfortunately, Seth will lose this one, I think. All right, and then down to let me just check what Princeton says. He says Seth Rollins is going to beat Brock Lesnar. Okay, so I disagree. I just disagree. with all those matches with title changing and it's the last 3 year titles, I think Seth is going to lose this one out. And I don't think that they're going to change titles with all 3 matches. I mean, it's possible. It's always possible, but I personally don't feel like they are going to do that. Let's see. And the final match, winner take all, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, for both Raw and SmackDown women titles. This is where I feel like Becky Lynch is going to win this one out, and people have been wanting Becky Lynch as the champion for the longest time, especially when it was supposed to be a one-on-one match with Ronda Rousey. That would have been interesting how that they would have pulled that off. But now you add Charlotte into that mix, and especially now becoming the SmackDown Women's Champion, it becomes a bigger like match, right? You have both Raw and SmackDown Women's titles, so like I feel like Becky Lynch is gonna clutch this one out. Charlotte and Ronda are gonna like just kill each other in terms of like doing like just ruthless like spots and doing like grappling throws and like submissions and such. And then Becky Lynch comes out, and I feel like Becky Lynch will come out in the clutch. I mean, as much as I hate to hear me say this, I don't think Becky's gonna come out dominant. Being a dominant person in this match, Ronda is going to be like, she's going to be killing both Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Charlotte is going to do like amazing like spots and where she's having the advantage. I feel like Becky's going to come out like coming out of nowhere and winning. That's where I feel like that's where she's going to be coming from. That's what I think. Yeah, Becky Lynch winning the winner take all, having both belts, being the champion, the man, being the champion for the women's, both Raw women's and SmackDown Women's Championship. So I think that's what's going to happen. And then Ronda, either whether it's true or not that she's going to be fully done with WWE after WrestleMania, or she's just going to take a year off and then come back. But yeah, I think that is it. Or let's see, hang on. Princeton said Ronda Rousey's going to win all the belts, but I don't agree with that. Only for the sake of, again, what we are hearing. If you're like listening to like notes, like dirt sheets, whatever, quote unquote dirt sheets, I don't believe that. I don't agree with what my friend Princeton said, but because of the fact that we're hearing that Ronda is going to take a year off or is basically done after WrestleMania. So that's that. That's what I think. So I think Becky Lynch is going to win this one, having both belts, maybe not being dominant, but just the fact that she'll clutch it out. And then, everybody, the whole place is going to be, celebrating and all that such. But this is going to be a long show when you think about all these matches that is happening and how much time they're going to use for these matches. Some are going to be shorter than others. Others are going to be longer because of like the buildup and how, things want to play. But yeah, Becky Lynch, for me, Princeton says Ronda Rousey. That would be interesting if that happens, because like if she wins, leaves, or like takes time off, you're not gonna have belts to fight for in a year if that news of Ronda Rousey going to be taking off for a year is true. So that's where my thinking is. Like I don't think Ronda's going to win it. Becky's going to win it. So there's that. So and that's all the matches that we have that is on the list. Let me see. Okay, yeah, and that is it for us here. I'm gonna go back there. So that is it for us here. Like, yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out and just talking shop about like just what we think about what's gonna happen with WrestleMania and the matches, the match predictions and such. Yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out with me and talking shop and talking match predictions and such. Maybe we'll do this again. Maybe on a major pay-per-view, or maybe an all-in, not all-in 2, maybe the day before or something. If we find a way to do that, maybe do this again like the way we did WrestleMania. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this format, and you want, I would love to have my buddy Princeton be here and be able to talk with, but like, yeah, we weren't able to work out scheduling and such. But yeah, that's it for us here. or that's it for me, Marco Flores from Nerd in the Bay. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and we're talking shop about wrestling and WrestleMania and the news about Kushida and going down the match card and the Hall of Fame and all that such. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you want us to do this again, or maybe on major pay-per-views, or what about just talking about wrestling and such? Maybe we can make this an audio podcast as well. Just let me know, is that something you want to do, and then we'll go. Yeah, I'll just make judgment calls, and we'll see what happens from there. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you just talking shop, and we'll see you next time if there's a next time for one of these pay-per-view match prediction shows. All right, take care, guys. Peace.